Hello, it's Devon. Today I was thinking I get a bit fed up with the UK. I'm not going to go into geopolitics or any politics on my channel, but I suddenly realised I have this little passport and I'm thinking, where could it take me? If I could pack my bags and go tomorrow, which country would I go to? Well, being part of the European Union, I think there's about 26 different countries that I could go to. So I'm going to decide today, whittle them down and see which ones could be possibilities for the future. So I'm going to start with probably the most obvious one, Ireland. Obviously you've got the Republic of Ireland, which includes Dublin. You've got Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. But I think I would prefer the Republic of Ireland. My mum came from Dublin, hence having the passport. And she also went to Trinity College. So that one's always a possibility, and it's one of the countries I would love to visit this year. So I'm going to put that on my yes list. Another one is Austria. I don't know an awful lot about Austria, but if you've been, can you put it in the comments and let me know, what is it like? It's a very quiet country. You don't really hear an awful lot about it. All I know is it's got spectacular landscapes and it's part of the European Union. So I'm going to put it in the yes list until I find out a bit more about it. So that one will go in the yes pile. Another one, I'm going to try and not make this video too long-winded, is Belgium. Another country I haven't been to. And maybe, I'm not sure, because obviously the language barriers, and I'm not very good at languages. The only language I can talk a little bit about is Spanish, to be honest. But I might put that in my no pile for a minute, just for the time being. But if you've been to Belgium, once again, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think of it. You know, give me some pros and cons about the countries. And the one that really puzzles me at the moment is Bulgaria. It seems that a lot of Brits are packing their bags and buying a property in Bulgaria. And I've heard the properties are pretty cheap. Like you can buy a house for 7,000 with quite a bit of land. I know there's some complications with Bulgaria, though, especially with the land, that you have to use it for agricultural reasons, apparently. And I don't know an awful lot about this country, but it's, I reckon in a few years it could be the new Benidorm. But if you know Bulgaria, you've got intentions of moving out there yourself, let me know. It's just one that's going to be up and coming, I think. I'm not really sure about it because it's right next door to Romania. But yeah, tell me what you think. In the meantime, I'm putting it in the no pile for a minute. The next one is Croatia. It's been quite a good holiday destination. And it's an up-and-coming country. Once again, I don't know an awful lot about Croatia, but it's one I could go to on my Irish passport. So if you've been, you know anything about it, let me know. Would you go to Croatia? And this is one that I would definitely put in my yes pile, Cyprus. Obviously, it's still a divided country. Obviously, you've got North Cyprus. But I know someone who did live out there for a few years and they loved it. And they said if they ever got the opportunity, they would go back out to live in Cyprus. I haven't been to Cyprus on holiday. I did think about it at one time. But once again, would you go to Cyprus? And if any of these countries so far, what would be your choice and why? In the meantime, I'm going to put this one in my yes pile. And the next one, Czechia, if I pronounced it right. Another unknown to me. Not really sure about this one. To be honest, my geography is pretty good and I can't even place where Czechia is. Is it near Poland? I don't know. It's one of those quiet countries, what I call quiet. You don't hear an awful lot about it. Didn't they have a civil war a couple of decades ago? Am I right? Once again, let me know in the comments if you can help me on this country. But in the meantime, because I know so little about it, I'm going to put it in the no list. And another one is Denmark. Never been. It's meant to be a really good country. It's meant to be quite economically stable. I know my nephew has a really good job out there and he's brought a property out there recently. So, another one I'm not sure about. I mean, he talks fluent German and French, so he's going to get by. But, yeah, another one I'm not too sure about, to be honest. Once again, just let me know, you know, where would you go if you had an Irish passport or the freedom just to go anywhere you could? What country would it be? So that one, for the meantime, is going to go into my no list, to be honest. It just has no appeal for me, really. Next one is Estonia. Now, once again, did they have a civil war? Another one around that sort of region I'm not too sure about. It would be an interesting country to visit, I should imagine. So if you've been, let me know. And once again, I used to think I was really good at geography. I'm assuming this one's near Hungary, Croatia. I'm really not sure. I'm going to do some research and find out where these countries really are and what they border with. I think it's always important that you know where they do border with and what sort of issues they have. I mean, I'm assuming all these countries are like Croatia and Estonia and Bulgaria. They're quite relatively poor countries. I could be wrong, but I think they're all up and coming. Maybe they're going to strengthen as we weaken. I really don't know. But I really am interested to know what people think. You know, where would you go? So that one's going to go in my no pile just because I know so little about the country. The next one is Finland. Now, as far as I know, Finland is a really quite a strong country, quite almost similar to Switzerland, I think, where the economy is good. But obviously, I think it's a very small populated country. I could be totally wrong. For some reason, it's not because of obviously they get very cold weather, but I'm sure that they're really beautiful countries in their own way. So once again, have you been? Just let me know, and what you really do think about these countries, and where would you go? What country would you choose? Like I say, they're all part of the European Union, so these are all places I could go. If I just packed my bags tomorrow and decided I wanted to go, it would be quite uncomplicated, to be honest. Germany. Now, if I was fluent in the language, I'd feel quite happy about going. And I know what people can say, yeah, but we've got all the technology, you You've got your translators on your phones, so it's not as complex as a language barrier as what it might have been a decade ago. And Germany, well, it's a very mixed country. I know they've got issues, probably similar to the UK. But how is the economy? Can you get a job in Germany? Could I teach English? I don't know. And some of it looks really stunning. So another one I'm not too sure about. I'm going to put it in the no pile just for the meantime. And this is one that I'm really got mixed bags about. France. I know it's got some really, really stunning regions, and most of it is still a very beautiful country. Obviously the language is quite complex, but the idea of sitting munching a baguette all day with cheese and drinking wine, and obviously garlic, which is really healthy for you. I should imagine it's quite a healthy lifestyle if you're in the right region. Paris has got no appeal to me. I'm not a city person. I'm not into cities at all. I'm into rural countryside areas. So France I'll put on my yes list, just because it could be not an easy life, but quite a self-sufficient life. I know that the French are really into growing their own veg, and their gardens are probably more important than their houses. So for rural living, it could be a good option. So I'm going to put that in my yes list. Oh, one of my all-time favourites. Greece. I was lucky enough to spend a whole month last May in Greece. And when people say Europe's as in the mess as the UK, well, Greece could be a very good example that maybe it's not as bad as what we're all being told or what we all believe. Obviously, Greece have their issues. Another country that has struggled with its economy over the years, and obviously all the land property grabs where the banks actually took back all the mortgages, and I know they've had quite a few issues. I learned quite a bit about it when I was out there. But Greek people, I think they're really unique. They're really nice people. They're quite authentic. They don't seem money grabbing. They just work really hard. And I've got an awful lot of respect for anyone who's from Greece. A beautiful country. The only downfall is the temperatures in the summer, where they can hit 50 degrees and, well, I'll just melt. I just know that I couldn't physically cope in those sort of temperatures. Lovely when if you go in May or maybe in the autumn, and it's a beautiful country. So I'm going to put it in my yes list. But like I say, I know during the summer, if I had to work 7 days a week, I would struggle. But it's like every country is used to those sort of temperatures. They cope. They find ways to get on with it. And the food, obviously, I love my olives, I love my salads. And Greek food is great, and it's really healthy, and people live longer, and they seem happy. So maybe that's a strong possibility. That's definitely going to go in my yes list. Another country that really does interest me is Hungary. I don't know an awful lot about the country, but I've worked with people from Hungary, and they are really nice people, different from Romanians. I know they've had their issues in the past. Weren't they in the Civil War? I could be totally wrong. I mean, if it's all coming to the top of my head, but didn't they have a civil war with Croatia or somewhere around that region? but the country itself is beautiful, and all the people I've met from Hungary are really hardworking, and I believe quite genuine people. So, and it's a country, if I had the option just to go around travelling, I would definitely go to Hungary. So that's going to go in my, well, this is a hard one actually. I'm going to put it in my yes list. I don't know about living in Hungary, but definitely one I would want to visit. Another one, Italy. I love the Italian language. I'm no good at speaking it, but I just love hearing the Italian language. And again, the food, the climate, and the architecture. It's stunning. I've never been, but I've seen quite a few YouTube videos on the travels to Italy, and it's a country I could definitely visit. I'm not sure about living, but yeah, definitely worth a visit. So, is it one of your favourite countries? Have you been? Can you speak Italian? Let me know. That's going in my yes pile for now. Like I say, not necessarily to live, but definitely on the visit list. Another one is Latvia. Again, another country I don't know an awful lot about. As far as I know, when I think about Latvia, I think it's very cold, lots of snow. I could be totally wrong. Reindeer. Am I in the right region? I haven't got a clue. What language do they speak? What food do they like? So another one that I'm hoping people will tell me about. What is it like? You know, to live, to work, or just to visit. I'm going to put it in my no list for the time being, because it's just a country I don't know an awful lot about, and like I said, I'll go do some research and find out more about these countries. Maybe I'm dipping out because I haven't been to Croatia, I haven't been to Bulgaria, I don't know. So let me know. So for the meantime, it's going to go in my no list. The other one is Lithuania. Another country I don't really know an awful lot about. Actually, I know very little. Don't know about the language, don't know about the culture, don't know about the food. Could you work and live there? I don't know. But it's another country I'm free to go to on my Irish passport. So it's going to go on my no list just for the time being. I'm wondering if this list will change in a month's time, and when I've done a bit of research, some of those countries that are in the no list will suddenly be swapped over to the yes list. Luxembourg. Never been. Don't know an awful lot about it. As far as I know, it's an okay place. Maybe worth a visit. Don't know enough about it whether I'll choose to live or work there, but who knows? Like I say, it's just a basic list out the top of my head. So I'm going to put it in the no list for the time being, because once again I know very little about the place. Another one that I know little about is Malta. Quite a warm climate. Could be quite easy to find work. Hospitality, hotels, restaurants. I don't think it's a very large island, I could be wrong. But it's meant to be okay. Not stunning for beaches, most of it's a rocky coastline as far as I know. Never been, but apparently they're quite good at talking English on this island. I've got a friend who lives out in Malta. So definitely on a visit list. Whether I could live there, I'm not sure. I don't like the idea of just living on a little island. Not sure. So I'm going to put it in my yes list for the time being. Netherlands. Another one don't know an awful lot about it. It must be okay. Just because it's not in our news regular means to me that it could have fewer issues and could be an okay place to live and work. Again, one of those countries that I just imagine for some reason covered in snow most of the time. Like I say, around this sort of region, I've got no idea, so I'm going to look into it. And when I've done all my research, like I say, most of my no list could jump into my yes list. So for the time being, yeah, it's going to go into my no list. Know nothing about it. Portugal is one country I do know about. When I can unpeel it, very hot, similar in some ways to Greece, like their goat cheese, grow their own fresh veg, lovely people, really good people. Language is okay-ish, I could get on with the language, I could learn a bit. And yeah, beautiful country. Obviously, we always get the impression they're a bit poor, you know, a bit struggling. But to be honest, I think sometimes some of these poorer countries are happier. You know, they might earn a lot less, but their property's cheaper and their standard of life seems quite healthy and happy. So when I compare it to the UK, and obviously hospitality once again, I could get a job in the travel industry, hotels, restaurants, quite a few avenues. So that's going to go on my yes list because I do like Portugal, have been, it is nice. Romania. Now don't get me wrong on this country, and please don't criticise me. I know that some of it is absolutely stunning. But the Romanian people, I'll be honest, I've worked with quite a few Romanians, and I don't want to sound awful about this, but I didn't particularly get on well with them. I just was indifferent to them. So in a way, it's put me off ever going to Romania. But I know it's I know it's got some stunning scenery, and I'm sure it's got some lovely people as well. But no, that will go into my no list for sure. I've got no desire to visit either. I'm going to make this my final one until I've done some more research. Slovakia. I had a Slovakian teacher who taught me cookery. She didn't teach me very well because some people would claim I'm the worst cook in the world. Actually, I'd argue that my cooking's got a lot better. But yeah, another country that we hear so little about, it's just another country that I would describe as quiet. And I always imagine it just covered in snow. And what language do they speak? I mean, I haven't got a clue. I'll be honest, I should know. I thought I was really hot on my geography and my languages, but when I look at all these countries, I realise how little I know about them really. So if you know different, please leave a comment, because I'd be fascinated to know what's so good about some of these countries, and the bad as well. If you've had negative experience in any of them, and you know, where would you go? Where would you live? If you could pack your bags tomorrow, where would you go? And the other country that I would love to visit is Poland. I've never been, but yes, I would love to go to Poland. The Polish people are so different from the Romanians. I found them really nice, hard-working people. And the country itself looks absolutely stunning. I didn't realise how beautiful it was. I watched a YouTube video on it the other day and I thought, wow, I need to go. So once again, just let me know what you really, really think. And is this Irish passport going to be worth it in a year's time? I mean, there is talk that we could rejoin the EU. How do you feel about it? Would you? Now we've got all these issues apparently in the UK Would you want to rejoin the European Union? Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to know. Because maybe before you said no, I don't want to, you voted out and you didn't want to be in the European Union. But now we've seen some of the consequences of leaving. What would you think about rejoining? Let me know in the comments. I'll be really, really interested to know. And like I say, I'm going to come back in a month's time with these same countries and see if any of my views have changed and is my yes list going to get bigger. Because at the moment, I've got to admit, my favourite is the one I'm looking at, Ireland. And because my mum came from there, it's been on my list for a long, long time. For personal reasons, I've chosen not to go. But this year, it's on my to-do list and I will go. Most of the Irish people I've met are really lovely, intelligent, they're passionate about their country, and by all I've seen on YouTube videos and what I know about Ireland, it's a really beautiful country. So, yeah, give me a comment, let me know. I really, really am interested. And I'm going to say bye for now, but come back soon. And thank you for watching. And please leave a like and subscribe. It would really, really mean an awful lot to me. Thank you.